Welcome back to Homegrown Film Room. This is going to be a little bit different. I was sitting back the other day and I'm thinking, if I was a quarterback in this draft, where would I want to go, knowing what I know? And the only reason I know what I know is because I'm old. I'm just an old man, okay? So an old man that has played, that knows all these coaches, knows all these teams, knows all the ownership groups, knows how this whole thing works. So this video is not even for the fans. This video is for the quarterbacks. Because what you would love more than anything, if you're a young quarterback, is to have a veteran quarterback in the room, and they will do this. If you go to a place with these teams, you'll be excited that you got drafted where you got drafted. You'll show up, and the old quarterback in the room, you'll know first meeting, he's going to be very honest. And that's what you want. You want a guy that says, do you have answers to this? Do you have a reason why we're doing these things? And if the quarterback coach doesn't know, you're going to know right away. And the good quarterback coaches and the good teams are very unified. OC, play caller, quarterback coach, they all have a very, very specific plan, and they have answers for you. If they don't have answers for you, text me, okay? DM me. Or get a veteran quarterback that just find them and be like, how do we solve these problems? So that's what we're going to do, all right? Right now, we're going to go through these NFL teams that are possibly going to grab quarterbacks, and I'm going to tell you if you should maybe think about networking, maybe think about taking some classes back at home, online, maybe in the off season. Maybe think about, trying to come out to the NFL Network and kind of do a guest spot with us and see how you do on TV. Okay? All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to go through these tiers, all right? My boys like tier lists, all right? So we're going to do one of those. I'm going to start with the Browns, okay? So we have a couple different tiers. We're a quarterback away. This team could be great. They just need a quarterback. I saw Ben Roethlisberger play in Pittsburgh, his very first preseason game. We always knew Pittsburgh Steelers was going to be great. We jog out there playing a preseason game. Here comes Ben Roethlisberger, lights it up. I said, well, this is a Super Bowl team because they were just that close. Okay, they just needed him to come in and solidify that. There's good situation. I'd feel good about this situation. Whatever that situation may be, and we'll get into the teams. There's an apprentice, okay? There's already a quarterback established. You're not playing. But listen to that guy. Chew on everything that he regurgitates, okay? Almost like the penguins, okay? You can insert some penguin clips of mama birds feeding the babies. That's what you need to be, all right? Be that. All right, just happy to be in the league. There are lists there. There are teams on this list where you should just say, you know what, I'm happy to be here. I'm going to enjoy my time here. I'm probably going to be a quarterback somewhere else pretty soon. I'm going to play baseball as a tier. I'm going to play baseball. I'm not playing football, okay? So here we go. Let's find out. Let's go to the Cleveland Browns. On the surface, this looks like this could be rough, okay? And this is something where I'd say, you know what, maybe I'm going to play baseball. But I love Kevin Stefanski. And I know the Deshaun Watson situation there's money tied up there, okay? And I'm not just happy to be in the league because I have one of the best coaches in the NFL. Now, I don't know what their plan is at quarterback. I know they've tried a couple different things, okay? They have. So I'm going to say that I'm in a good situation. Now, if Kevin Stefanski ever gets fired from Cleveland, you might want to go pick up the sticks. Pick up a glove, left-handed, right-handed, get on the mound, see if you still got it. You're in a good situation, okay? Kevin Stefanski's a good coach. If he ever gets fired, you should probably retire. All right, just retire. Because there's a lot of money tied up in Myles Garrett. Love Myles Garrett. Great player, but my goodness, okay? All right, Colts. The Colts, the Colts are interesting. I want Daniel Jones to succeed. I want Anthony Richardson to succeed. I was really high on Anthony Richardson. I thought that offensive system was going to be great, and these guys they had success. Joe Flacco, he tried to come in, do some things. I'm torn with Indy. I'm torn. Like, they should be able to make something happen with the ability that they have in the quarterback. I know Anthony has, he's tapped out. He's had a couple things that aren't great. He's young. He's an incredible player. If I was going there, sadly, I'm just happy to be in the league, okay? If I'm a Colt, I know these guys, I'm not getting a rep. Like, if you're a quarterback and you go to Indy, just know Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones are getting all the reps, and that coach is trying to save his job because you're not getting any reps, bro. Just be happy. I don't know. There's not much. You can go to St. Elmo's. They have good shrimp cocktail. It's hot. That's a good restaurant. It's about all Indy has. I won a Super Bowl in Indy. That was cool. But I wasn't playing for the Colts. I know that. So I had to face the Colts a lot. They had Peyton Manning. That was a different Colts team. This Colts team, they got some work to do. Shane, you guys got to fix it. Quarterbacks should be happy to be in the league. If you're the Bucs, all right, you go to the Bucs, you're an apprentice. You're in an apprentice role. That's a good situation, okay? Baker Mayfield has gotten essentially two of his offensive coordinators' jobs. right? Based on how he's played. Mike Evans, those guys, good situation. You got Godwin staying home, basically eating $20 million, saying, I want to play here. That's a good situation. That's rare in the NFL to find a place like that. And honestly, Baker and I we didn't have beef because he didn't care. But early, I was a little critical of Baker. But I played golf with Baker and Derek back at the Tahoe tournament this last summer. Let me tell you, Baker Mayfield is awesome. And he's a great teammate, and he has grown significantly. And so to be in that room with him, that would be a blessing. I think if you had a chance to learn from Baker and watch how he carries himself, watch how he pushes the ball down the field, watch how he attacks defenses, and learn from that guy, and I think that right now he's probably in a place where he would be very open to doing that. I think that that's a great place, and you are in an apprentice role in a great situation in sunny Florida, and enjoy that because that's a good spot. Raiders. The Raiders are interesting. I would have said before they hired Pete that I'm going to play baseball. That's where I'm going. Look at Brock Bowers. That's great. But you know what? I'm not going to be here. Magic Johnson. Okay? I'm not going to be here. All right. But I think that the Raiders is actually a good situation because you have Geno in the room, and Geno feels like he can play at a high level still, and I love that. I think offensive system-wise, they're going to have a good system. I think they're going to run the ball. I think that if we fast forward, they're probably going to get a pretty good running back in the draft. But that's a good spot to be in. I wouldn't have said that before. They've been searching for a quarterback ever since who left, and that's fine. Those guys they've been putting in all the effort that they can, but there's only one number 4. I'm just going to say it. But I think that's a good situation for a kid to roll into, okay? Be happy that you go there with Pete because Pete can coach, and he's a solid leader of men, and those are very rare. A lot of times in this league now, they're just kind of hiring the best X's and O's guys. And these guys like Pete, Tom Coughlin, those guys, they're a lost art. It's a lost breed. But he's a good one, and you should be happy to be there. The New York Giants. I'm going to say that the quarterback situation in New York, although loaded now, I think you're in an apprentice situation. But it's almost a good situation. I really am a big fan of Brian Daboll. I think he's a good coach. I think that when you look at the charts, sometimes we get these really intricate charts, the NFL Network, where it talks about expected completion percentage based on the play call, not just the throw, but there's a lot that goes into it. And the Giants, offensively, they have one of the higher expected completion percentages for an offensive system. That means their offensive coordinator is getting guys open. They just haven't had a chance to have the success there for a couple different reasons. But I think that's an apprentice situation because you have Jameis, you have Russ, it's going to be loaded. They have a veteran guy. If they're able to get a young quarterback and you're able to get into that room, I would feel really good about that. So feel good about Brian Daboll. If that's your coach, even though you got the 2 veteran guys there, it's going to be a short-term thing. You got a chance to be the quarterback there. If you're a young quarterback that gets drafted in New York, feel very good about that. And also feel very good about the fact that Brian knows how to adapt and he knows how to work with different players. You're going to be just fine. I was in London, saw them play the Packers a couple years ago. No one gave them a chance. They got after it. They dialed up some winners. They attack on offense. And I know that this is probably against the narrative right now, that the Giants are a good place to go. But I really think that they do. Maybe it's because I have a Super Bowl ring in my safe outside. But that's neither here nor there. Titans. The Titans are interesting. I think the Titans have a good coaching staff. I think they're putting together a good group. Offense and defensive line is important to them. Look, at this point right now, though, let's just be happy that we live in Nashville. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy. I'm happy I live in Tennessee. It's a great place. There's good people there. There's good food. If you want to go out, take your wife or your girlfriend out, there's great places to go. You can enjoy the life. Don't get caught up in all that, though. Try to be professional, but just be happy to be there. Be happy that you're in the league. I think that group needs a veteran quarterback. I think that offensive system, if you have a high processor, I will say this, a guy and I don't want to use names because I just want to tell you where, Kyle McCord, he's a guy that I've talked about. I feel highly about his processing ability. He could go into that system, take ownership of it, and I think that they'd have a lot of success. But if you throw a guy out there that's RPO-based, that's a little raw, man, it's going to be rough. Because they've done that. They've done that a lot in the last couple of years. They've drafted really athletic quarterbacks and guys that can, make plays, and it's just it's been kind of up and down. They haven't been consistent. That offensive system is going to require a high processor. I'm just going to say that. So maybe we'll come back and revisit who the Titans drafted, and we'll see if that's a good fit. We'll see. I think it's just be happy to be in the league, because unless you're an old veteran guy that gets it, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Okay, Jets. The Jets. I love Aaron Glenn. I played golf with him. He was on my team. We won a game in Pittsburgh because of Aaron Glenn. 2 pick-6s. Sorry, Tommy Maddox, but that happened. Okay, Aaron's a great coach, and I think defensively they'll play good football. I think they'll rally. I think, man, this is so tough because the Jets, obviously, with their quarterback situation, now it's Justin Fields. Justin's going to play, and I know that Aaron knows that they're going to put a lot of pressure on the defense with Justin's legs, and I know he believes that. So for me, if you are an athletic quarterback, even if you're like Jalen Milroe, or you're a quarterback that's going to put pressure on the defense, that's a good situation. But I'm going to say, for right now, I'm just happy to be here, okay? I'm in New York. I think New York is a great place. We spent a lot of time there as a family. We enjoyed a lot of success there. The Jets had Aaron Rodgers. They gave him everything that he wanted. Devontae Adams showed up, and they still weren't very good, okay? So I think just be happy that you're in the league. I don't know necessarily that if I'm a quarterback going to the Jets right now that I feel fantastic about it until they show and prove to me that they can play winning football on the offensive side and give me winners. Give me answers to the test. That's the key. All right, and the last one, Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm going to leave the Pittsburgh Steelers for last because I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, right now for me, just like when Ben Roethlisberger was there and he was inserted, their quarterback away. Mike Tomlin, God bless him, he's created some issues up there, but he's solved a lot of issues. I mean, he's like the guy, he's like a fireman, but he's also an arsonist. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he'll light the match, but then he'll also bring the bucket. But he's great. He's a great coach. I love Mike Tomlin. I think he's fantastic. But he's just trying to make it work because they have just been without Ben. They have not had an answer. They have not been able to figure out the quarterback situation. It's literally the same as when I was playing back 20 years ago and Tommy Maddox was the quarterback. And before that, it was a million other guys. And then Ben showed in and solidified. He solidified the position. They need that right now, okay? They need a guy to come in. So, who could possibly do that? In Arthur Smith's system, there's a couple guys, but I'll just tell you, based on previous videos and what I've talked about, they need a guy that's quick twitch, that can run the ball, that can be a weapon on the ground. That's what Arthur wants to do. Utilize his legs. That's why Justin Fields has so much success. But you RPOs, read it, get it out, win the one-on-ones. Why'd Russell have success there last year? They created one-on-ones with their run game. They threw deep shots down the field. One-on-one situations, they took shots, they hit them. You got to be able to hit big shots. So, there's guys in this draft that can do that, but that's what I see for how the Steelers are wired now. They're going to play great defense. They want to run the ball. They want to create one-on-ones on the outside, and they want to throw it to their guy, DK Metcalf. They got a lot of weapons out there. So if they just get to the level to where they can create one-on-ones outside, and not only now do they just have one guy, Pickens, they got 2 guys, DK, that can win out there. That's great. That's a great feeling for a quarterback. So I wouldn't even say that's a good situation. That is a great quarterback away. And when I say quarterback away, I mean a guy that can play. They can play in the system, that can be a threat with his legs. Doesn't have to be a major threat, but can be a threat with his legs, and then can throw the ball down the field with accuracy and consistency. That's a team that could be in the Super Bowl. They could be playoff deep, challenge these teams in the AFC. I think that would be fun. Those are my tiers, okay? That's the tiers. Couple guys. You know what? You know what's fun about this list? We didn't send anyone to the baseball diamond this year. We thought about it, but we haven't. So be happy. Enjoy the fact that you're in the NFL. There's better situations than there are just negative ones out there. You don't have to grab your glove. You're good. Enjoy the fact you're in the league. Rip it around. Have fun. Learn from the vets. You'll be fine.